fellas. Let's go ahead. Let's dive into our week 15. We're going to be going. So how this works, guys, for all you guys who are new, by the way, hit that follow button so you know when we go live. If you are new, again, Chris and Scott, we are your hosts for the Action Lab Wednesdays and Sunday nights in the Twitch universe. So, merry holidays, peeps. There you go. We are going to be diving into our top games now. Just because these are just games that we think are going to be interesting from one standpoint or another. I.e., this first one is except for this one. By the way, I for you guys who are new, I'm a Broncos fan, so I'm suffering. Let it cry, let it ride, baby. Let it cry, whatever you want to say. I'm dealing with it. Scotty is a Chiefs fan, so he's obviously going. He's going and doing some good things with his team. He's enjoying all of the but he can't mention it because we made a bet earlier on.
I don't know who you're. Well, I don't even know what team you just said. What team is that?
Yeah. He does. He's because he always, for you guys who don't know, always brings up Mahomes and the Chiefs in any conversation. We could be talking about Christmas movies, and he's like, Mahomes would probably be the best Christmas movie. And this doesn't count that I'm bringing it up, Scotty. It's only when you bring it up because it always.
No, that would be unfair. If you, I mean, you would just bring it up.
He's like, my favorite Christmas movie is anything that Mahomes likes, or and it's just like Mahomes had a great. It happened during this Christmas movie, so that's my number 4 pick. It just kind of happens that way. But anyways,
I value greatness, Chris.
But Scotty loves his Chiefs. I love my Broncos, even though they are trash, and we have a lot to do. But we're gonna be breaking down these matchups here. Rather watch paint dry, says G Girl. I think as far as
nobody,
there's 2 trash teams here, but it might be an interesting dumpster fire to watch here. Okay. Because you have a 3-point spread here, over under 36, so no points are going to be that's the downside. No points are going to be scored. But that's a little deceiving because one of my best bets of the week, guys, is Broncos and Cardinals over this total. Now, Broncos have been able to give up some yards on the ground, and I think the Cardinals will be able to do some things on the ground. I also think that the Cardinals, even though they have an issue with quarterback, I have a feeling they'll be able to move the ball a little bit more. Even though the Broncos defense has been playing pretty well over the course of the season, I have a really good feeling on this one, on why I like this one. But again, storylines coming into this. Yeah, the Broncos, who are absolutely just awful offensively. All right, so I get that. You have the Cardinals, who just lost their best quarterback, which is not really much of a loss. He's fine, but I mean, my issue is more of Cliff Kingsbury and that coaching staff, because I mean it's pretty rough there.
I'll drink to that.
But Cardinals moved to Colt McCoy, quarterback. I think in this one, there's going to be some points scored. This is a really low total, and I do think the Broncos, coming off a top 28-point win or loss, I should say, but it's a win in our book because we scored 28 points. I mean, that's what we've come down to, Scotty, in Denver.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think that momentum carries over to this game to where the Broncos can put up some points here. I think the Cardinals can put up some points on the ground. And I think the Broncos defense, when it comes to the run side, also, you're right, kickers. Cuban says it in the chat. I think there's going to be a lot of field goals in this one. Back and forth field goals. I think that's a chance to, boost up some of these drives as opposed to getting, punting away. You get some field goals instead. And I think that these two offenses can move each other down the field to at least field goal range to get some of those going. But I'm more on the Broncos side here, optimistically, knowing that, Jerry Jeudy's been playing a little bit better. He's fired up. He fired up his team. And then, we do have a backup coming in potentially for the Broncos. We got Brett Rippon coming in and doing some duties here for quarterback on the Denver Broncos. I just think this is one of those things where you got 2 shitty teams that somehow put up 45 points. And I'm just like, where did this come from? I'm sticking with this one in the over here, and I just think that there's an opportunity. 36 is a very, very low total. I think they could get there. I got the over on this one. But Scotty.
A lot of people want you to do a pee test because you're high or you're drunk.
Okay.
A lot of people on the under, Chris. A lot of people on the under.
That's what that's what
I'm not gonna bet on this game because I don't want to watch 1 second of this football game, Chris. So I'm not gonna touch this game. 36 is a super, super low total. That's about as low as you're gonna see in football.
That's the lowest you could possibly. That's the floor.
You did say that it's Colt McCoy versus Brett Rippon. I don't know where the points come from. Obviously, Denver's defense is one of the better in the league. Arizona's isn't great, but even still, like
their weapons on. I mean,
Brett Rippon's not gonna sling the ball around exactly, and has never done it. Not, I mean, he's really like, I don't even know if he's a good backup, quite frankly. I hate this game. I hate this game so much. It might be the least watchable game all weekend.
It may be a very unwatchable game from a scoring standpoint. Colt is slated to play, Chris, for sure. Cookie Ma, I think, is just really tired of after a long day. Yeah. G Girl's like free under baseball score. No. I think I'm gonna remember all of these unders when this one.
Ooh,
I'm gonna remember it. I
and
feel
they
good
will
about
remember your over pick if that's
it's
a dumpster fire.
It's true. So. Exactly.
R.S. Parker, it won't be on Red Zone. I'll miss it.
Yeah.
See? Hi-yo. That's true. If you watch Red Zone, you're probably safe in this one.
You're safe in Red Zone for sure.
Chris will be watching those field goals, and somehow, if they kick a bunch of field goals, we need 9 apiece, Chris. What is that? 6 apiece. I'm sorry. Math is hard sometimes. 6 field goals aside, 18-18 tie at the end, just a push. So you actually need 7 field goals in order to get it done for one of the teams here.
I mean, 36? I mean, it's just too low, man. But anyways, that's where I lean this one. I would love for the Broncos to get a win because losses don't do us any good. Losses don't do us any good.
No.
We don't have our pick. We give
it
away.
It would be the number. Is it sitting at the number 2 overall pick right now? Would they be picking second?
There's a 2 overall pick for Seattle. I think that's heading their direction as of right now, if I'm not mistaken.
But the Rams won their 4th game. So what? Let me look at the NFL, or as we speak, NFL draft.
Cards versus ponies is bad betting and all. True. Over if Murray was playing, but
maybe it is. Oh, Seahawks are at 2, but that's the
come on, Barry.
Rams.
Don't do that to me, Barry.
Wait, no, the Seahawks. You have your pick. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
So you're saying that
you would have the number 2 pick in the draft, Chris.
Barry,
number 2.
You're telling me this is a trap?
It's a trap.
Yeah. Hey, Chris. So right now you might like a push, an 18-18 tie.
Yeah.
Fields with 6 field goals apiece.
I'll take it.
I just feel like to get the over, Chris, you're going to need some turnovers and some short fields.
Well,
because yes, the Broncos put up 28 last week, but a lot of that was on short fields.
You know who turns over the ball a lot? Backup quarterbacks against good defenses.
No, Kyler Murray probably turns the ball over more than Colt McCoy. Let's be honest.
I mean, Colt McCoy, he's going to get taken out of this game because he gets injured in the second quarter, and it's just going to be one of those. Last time he started a game, he got hurt, and it was like the backup, and he was just like, come on, man. Like, you can't even stay on the field.
He won some game this year for him, but and we've always, obviously, we didn't touch on Kyler Murray, and obviously it's unfortunate. You know, we make fun of Kyler Murray all the time on this show, but you never want to see a guy go out with an injury.
No.
Hopefully, but like honestly, do you feel a little bad? Like not bad, but like, are you worried about him rehabbing? He doesn't like to read. Like, how hard is he gonna? This is gonna really set him up to game a lot, Chris. Like, he's gonna be able to perhaps be the greatest. What is he like? Call of Duty? I don't know what he likes. Player in the history of the game. So greatness will be achieved in some fashion.
True.
Kyler Murray. But both these franchises, Chris, are so similar because both
are screwed for the future.
Awful contracts to their quarterbacks. And the only difference is at least the Broncos are going to be able to get rid of their head coach, even though they're going to have to pay him to do so because he's only been there a year. But even Arizona extended Cliff Kingsbury in the offseason. Like, what are we doing? Why did they do that?
Cliff Kingsbury.
What do you games has Cliff Kingsbury won? He's made it to the playoffs once, and they lost by about $1 million to the Rams in that game. though.
Yeah, I mean, he stinks.
This guy stinks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so these teams have a lot in common, and most of all, that they're unwatchable, Chris.
TDs. TDs always sounds. Yeah. Anyways,
I know what you're trying to do there, Chris. I think people get it.
Broncos are winning this one without Kyler. Also, the Broncos team in a whole is a good team, but their quarterback dragged them down. Yeah, it's part of it. It's part of what I'm used to now.
Yeah, but their quarterback's still going to drag.
This is
down.
my nightmare. Next up, we have Bengals and Bucks. This game.
We have Skip Bayless coming in to talk about this one.
Bayless,
so be careful, Chris.
Skip, welcome in, Skip Bayless. He has some things to say about how good Tom Brady is versus other Hall of Famers in the world. If you missed it, Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless. Anyways, that was wild, by the way. Trap game, says Chris. It's a trap.
It's a trap.
I apologize. No, cooking. You're good. Just as long as you're here hanging out.
I'm going to do a code yellow real quick while you open us up on Bengals and Bucks.
Yeah, Bengals and Bucks here. This one's an interesting one. Obviously, Bengals are kind of starting to gravitate to the top of some people's list in the AFC, obviously coming off that win with Kansas City, doing some nice things there. Tampa Bay has underachieved, and they are, 6-7 at this point? Not looking as good as they typically do, but Tom Brady is just, I mean, he's not going to be back next year in Tampa Bay. I just don't see it. Whether or not he retires or goes somewhere else, I just don't see him back in Tampa Bay. You know he's not having fun out there. But Bengals here, 3.5-point favorites in Tampa. Now, Tampa obviously leading the worst division in football. Over-under set at 44 here. I don't have a dog in this fight. I mean, honestly, I have a feeling this is going to be a close game, though. This game kind of leans to just, as weird as this sounds, the spread kind of leans towards a Bucks side. I just don't like it enough to bet it. So I stayed away from this one, knowing that it's going to be probably coming down to a field goal in this one. The line is 3.5 for the Bengals, which is the Bucks terrify me in a way that I just don't know what they're going to be putting out there, but they also just show up randomly. Problem with Tom is he doesn't play well with weapons. He needs to trade all of those receivers for crisp route running, short, white slot guys. Where's is Wes Welker still hanging around somewhere? Is he bagging groceries somewhere that he could come back and I don't know. We could get some guys. There's a few of those guys hanging around. I just want to see Brady lose. Whiskey, I think a lot of people are just ready to see Brady just kind of crash and burn here. I mean, Scotty's scared of the back door of Tampa Bay making the playoffs and just going on a miraculous run to play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I mean, that's what he's really terrified about. But
Chris,
yeah.
I was walking back, and I don't know what you're talking about here, but all I heard is Scotty's afraid of the back door. And it's true. It's accurate.
Yeah,
I'm terrified of it.
You're terrified of the back door, and it gets a little spicy back there.
Spicy.
But you
don't want it spicy. You don't want it spicy back there. Bengals Bucks. I know people were talking about trap game, which is crazy, right? Talking about this Bucks team that's 2 years removed from winning the Super Bowl, and in last year was obviously one of the best teams in the NFC in football overall. But that's how it kind of feels, Chris. The Bengals 9-4. Do you remember the beginning of the season, Chris? Everyone was all panicked and football wife. I told you, RELAX.
Wait.
Relax.
I added that as a sound effect. Let's hear it.
Oh.
RELAX. Relax.
There you go.
Let me know when it's done. I don't hear it. So, and not that football wife was panicked. I don't think she was, but I was like, the Bengals are going to be fine. Bengals are going to be fine. Here we are, 9-4, looking like they can. I mean, and this game is important for the Bengals. They're still tied with the Ravens atop the AFC North. Ravens, obviously, without Lamar, are in a position where they might drop some games. And then Bengals also have Buffalo on their schedule, where if they win that game, all of a sudden you start to get in the mix for the number one overall seed and get that bye if you're the Bengals. If they win out and beat Buffalo, they're ahead of Buffalo in the standings, and they just need another team to lose one game, and then they're sitting atop the AFC and getting that bye. I don't know who that other team is. But Bengals are playing, I think, really, really solid football. And the Bucks at this point, like, I hate that the Bucks are leading their division. They're just like every week it's like, all right, are they going to turn it on this week? And there is no switch, Chris. There's no switch, especially offensively. And now I think the defense for the Bucks is kind of just like, F it. Like, we suck.
It's done.
I'm not sure I want to play hard this week. So I'm not going to touch this game because this feels like the Bengals, like, you're right. A backdoor cover late with the Bucks. And I don't usually like betting on 3.5 point spreads in general, unless I'm taking the underdog, and I'm not touching the Bucks in this one. So I think Bengals win this game and are the far superior team. But Tom will do his weird things at the end of the game in the late fourth to cut this to 3, and then they'll lose by 3.
I think it's going to be a close game, honestly. Cookie Ma, sorry you had a bad day with the panic attack and feeling like really bad. I hope you're feeling better now. It sounds like you are. So sorry to hear that, and we're sending some good thoughts your way. Yeah, hey, there you go. Feel better for sure. And also she says, well,
G-Girl said never tell a woman to relax. Is that true?
It's kind of true.
I didn't know that. I tell my wife to relax all the time.
And how does that turn out?
Usually not well, but I think I'm trying to lessen the situation.
Yeah.
Does that fire it up more? Like, relax, chill. Like, don't worry about it. That's not good. You don't say that. Oh, wow, I'm learning. I'm learning each and every day, guys.
F's in the chat for Scotty here.
Yeah,
F, spam
respect.
F.
That's respect, right?
Chairman F. Great stream, guys. Enjoyed the Christmas draft. Glad I was brought over. Hey, guys. Appreciate that, Chris. Thank you so much for being a part of it. If you have to head out, we'll upload all of our VODs to YouTube. So make sure you go check out our YouTube and join our. We have our Discord. So socials and then Discord. There you go.
Thanks for joining us, Chris. Hopefully we'll see you back here soon. Have a good holiday season, man.
Yeah. Merry Christmas. We are always talking sports outside of when we're live, so make sure you join in and talk about some sports that you Sunday football is pretty active in our Discord. We're always throwing some fun stuff around, but yeah, absolutely. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for sticking around after the raid. That doesn't happen very often. People don't stick around after raids too often, so thank you. Means a lot to me since I've been going.
Mostly my face. That's why they don't stay.
Cooking. Thank you, guys. Means a lot to me since I've been going through a ringer when I found out my dad's funeral cost. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that.
You're getting charged now from 17 years ago? How does that work?
That's crazy.
That doesn't make any sense.
I didn't even think that was possible.
Well, hopefully don't stress too much about it.
Yeah.
It'll work itself out. You'll get something and pay tribute to your dad. So
exactly. Next up, Cowboys Jags. Again, I'm going to take one of my codes here in a quick sec. Get us started on Cowboys Jags. And
does that look like a fake human being before you go, Chris? Does Trevor Lawrence look real there?
Trevor Lawrence looks like one of those like those wax figurines.
The hair is perfection.
Wax figures.
The skin looks like he must moisturize at least 9 hours a day. While Kyler Murray's playing Call of Duty, Trevor Lawrence is moisturizing, guys. He's putting everything on his skin that will allow him to, never turn old. It just doesn't look real. I don't know. Maybe that's a Photoshop photo, but if it's not, guys, I'm sorry that you have to look at my face instead of that face most of the time and those locks. But anyway, Cowboys Jags. Cowboys 4-point favorites on the road. I am trying to remember for sure on my bets of the week. I think I have a bet on the week on this one. I'm pretty confident I'm actually taking the Jags in this one. So if you don't know, I'm actually a buddy of mine's Cowboys fan, and so I kind of ride with them sometimes, at least from the NFC perspective. But this is this is partial Cowboys, and this is partial. I think the Jags are just playing good football right now. got a big win last week in a game. I bet on the Jags last week as well. Got a W there. The Cowboys obviously escaped an embarrassing loss as almost 17-point favorites last week against Houston in a game they had no business being that close and had to pull out a last second touchdown in order to win. And if you're the Cowboys, injuries are just starting to pile up. You got Terrence Steele, the right tackle, now injured. He's out. Obviously, they lost their left tackle and Tyron Smith early on in the season, so you're without both starting tackles. Diggs is questionable this week. We'll see if he plays. They got some other injuries, and they're injured in their secondary to the point that they took Trayvon Mullen off waivers from Arizona, and then the Raiders prior to that today, just to add a former first rounder in Trayvon Mullen. I think he was a first rounder out of Clemson to their secondary group. They're a little beat up. This isn't I think the Cowboys will start to put things together, and Dak did make some phenomenal throws last week to bring them back, especially on that last game-winning drive. But I think the Cowboys are a little out of sync right now. I think they're literally looking at that game against Philly coming up, and that's like their focus. They want to beat Philly more than anything in the world. Micah Parsons was on Von Miller's stream or podcast or whatever he does, talking about Philly already. So it just feels like a look ahead. I think Jacksonville's way better than I think people give credit for. This feels like a close game to me that could go either way, honestly, where the Cowboys maybe win by 3, but you give me 4 points, I'm taking Jags.
Yeah, and I think, if I were going to be on the side here, I would be on the Jags too. I think this is mainly I feel like this should be around 3.5, somewhere around there. But, the Jags return home here, beating Tennessee last week. They'll be without Terrence Steele. I think you mentioned maybe some of the injuries here that the Dallas Cowboys are struggling with. They struggle against mobile quarterbacks. Oh, you know what's a weird stat? They're 0-2 straight up against the spread on grass this season. That's kind of a weird thing. I don't think it's too small of a sample. I agree. Yeah. But nicked up secondary, kind of beat up there. And
very
then,
much so.
You know what's weird? I was looking at the QBRs. Trevor Lawrence has a higher QBR than Dak, weirdly enough, 56.6 versus 52.4, which is, again, I don't think that has really a huge deal there, but I don't know. This just leans to me to be a closer game than what people expect. People are like, oh, Dallas is playing as well as they are. They're, in one of the better divisions in the NFL, and Jacksonville, who knows what you're getting week to week. I don't know. Jacksonville is one of those teams that's just like that pesky little brother that kind of hangs around for a little bit and just is always bugging you, always kind of nipping at you, and kind of always you're just leave me alone, man, leave me alone. And I'm kind of with you on the Jags here. Jacksonville, yeah. Barry says 5-8 against the spread. Dallas 8-5 against the spread.
I think part of that, though, at least from Jacksonville's angle, is they started out obviously, and they, after losing to Washington week 1, they beat the Colts 24-0, and then blew out the Chargers on the road, and everyone was like, "Oh, this Jacksonville team's for real." I kind of thought they might be too at that time. And so people were high on them, and then they just went on a 5-game losing streak after that and just did not play well. They had a close loss at Philly where they're up early the following week, and then after that, they're the only team who's lost to the Texans this year. So they had a rough stretch. They lost to your Broncos. There was a lot of ugly losses, but the last 6 weeks they're 3-3 with wins over the Raiders, Ravens, and Titans, with losses against the Lions. Actually, they're 3-2 in their last 5. They did get blown out the Lions, but Lions obviously winners of 5 of 6, and they lost against another team that shall not be named, Chris. So yeah, they're playing. And quite frankly, they had some bad turnover luck early on in that stretch too. So I just think they're a pretty good team, and I just don't think the Cowboys are playing. And we go back to that game on 2 weeks ago with the Cowboys on Sunday night. That was a battle against a not great football team until the Cowboys put up 33 in the fourth quarter, which was kind of wild with turnovers and a lot of things going right. But going to the fourth quarter, that was a very tight game, right? Yeah. When we covered that on Sunday Night Football 2 weeks ago. So I'm worried about the Cowboys only because of the injuries piling up.
Yeah, it's not the right time of the year to be piling up as many.
And they signed T.Y. Hilton, who I actually thought T.Y. Hilton retired.
I thought I didn't even know he was in the league. I was like, wait a minute.
He hasn't really been. I thought he retired. And then he was, which, by the way, Odell Beckham Jr. is an idiot, Chris, for going on that, whatever that show is, The Shop or whatever, the barbershop thing or whatever show that was, and saying that, like, hey, I don't feel like I need to play in the regular season. How dumb can you? Their agent must have just been like, oh no.
Like, what are you doing? No. Like, come on,
Even
man.
If you feel that way, don't say that. Don't say that, Odell.
Come on, man.
You're costing yourself money. And now he's probably looking at, like, Buffalo was looking at him. They signed Cole Beasley, everyone's favorite person.
By the way,
this week.
Yeah.
T.Y. Hilton gets signed by Dallas, another rumored team to be in the mix of Odell. Not that they can't still be in the mix now, but, like, it feels like Odell's just going to have to sign, like, a league minimum this year and then hope to prove himself in the offseason and get a contract at this point. And if he wants a league minimum, I know a team that would take him at the league minimum.
You would take it.
I know what team.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. Let's see what else do we have in the chat. Cowboys will win this game. By the way, Chop was like, Cowboys look good. Chop, I thought you were all in the Bills now. I thought that was. I thought you
Chop, and by Chop, R.S. Parker. Come on, man.
Cowboys look good.
Pick a side, dude. It's exhausting. No,
he's on that fence.
We know him personally. That's the only reason I'm giving him all
he's
this.
One of my best buddies
Bills.
in the world. Yeah.
Dude's been a Cowboys fan forever, and then all of a sudden he's like, I've had enough, and he joins the Bills this year.
He literally has Cowboys tattoos on his inner bicep of, like,
now he's a Bills fan
and
like, over Cowboys. You can't do that. Once you tattoo yourself with a team, you're ride or die.
Bills Mafia. I'm just saying.
You are ride or die. Don't come at me with Bills Mafia.
Scotty,
Chop. You tattooed yourself with Cowboy stuff. You are a Cowboys fan for life, or nobody. You get the Cowboys or no one.
Come on, man. Just literally, like, Scotty is diehard Kansas City. I am a diehard Broncos, and neither of us have tattoos of our teams. You tattoo your team, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. Just saying. Cole Beasley also unretires as chairman.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do whatever you want, right? I mean, you can just unretire, you can retire. Tom Brady knows a little bit about that. But perfect marriage. Tom Brady goes and unretires. Obviously, he likes his nice white receivers, like Barry on Deck said, his short little white receiver slot receivers.
Yeah.
Cole Beasley would have been
white
perfect.
tight ends.
Or large white tight ends. Cole Beasley would have been perfect in Tampa. What are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah. No, he was in Tampa, Chris. Cole Beasley was in Tampa earlier this year.
Was he? I don't even know.
Yeah. For like 2 weeks, and then I don't know if he asked to be released or they're like, we're good. But either way, he was only there for like 2 weeks. But of course it made sense. Cole Beasley, Tom Brady, match made in heaven, right?
At least be a Patriots fan so the tattoo artist can work around that dumbass star.
Nice.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's true. If you're gonna change teams, at least pick a team where, like, you can adapt on that star to make it make sense with, like, another squad maybe. But no, you chose the Bills. I don't know how you incorporate a star with a buffalo. Okay.
Barry. Well, Cole is a rapper, so maybe that's not white enough for Tom. It could be true. That could be true.
Is Cole's a rapper?
I haven't heard a single
I'm
one.
today years old when I found out that Cole Beasley is a rapper. Now I'm gonna listen to his greatest hits. I bet he's got a lot of them, Chris.
Yeah,
he's got a lot of greatest hits.
I'm gonna have to go to Spotify, see if he's even on there. D Boston, I have that dumbass star on me. I mean,
does anybody any Cowboy fans like the Cowboys? They're pretty good right now, guys. What are we doing?
I'm surprised Chris from the benchmark stream is not hearing that. Says Cookie Mom. I played it on my show one day. It was awful. And by awful, I mean hilarious and awesome.
Yeah. That makes sense.
That makes perfect sense.
What? Has there ever been like an athlete that's like, because so many athletes try and do albums, right? And generally rap.
Cuban. You're right.
Has there ever been an athlete that's like actually made a good album? Why do they do this? Why do they do this? Is their ego so inflated that they just have no grasp of the situation? And how dare you producers and record labels for allowing this shit to go down?
I mean, Barry says Shaq. Also, like Damian Lillard.
But was Shaq good?
Damian Lillard has his rap thing on the side that when's the last time you heard a Damian Lillard song? Never. You don't hear athlete songs at all. They stink. They stink, and don't even waste your time.
They just do that to make extra bucks. Which is true.
How much extra bucks are they making? I just don't see it.
I mean, are they making money on that, or I think it's more ego thing. I think their ego's so inflated that they're just like, I can totally.
Remember when Shaq dropped in the club, "Hey Kobe, tell me how my ass tastes"? Remember that was a thing. Remember that?
What? No.
Okay, we'll move on.
No. Was that in WAP or was that?
It was cleaner than WAP.
I mean, that doesn't apply in WAP, really.
Well, yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. It's a throwback. Lions and Jets.
Yes. Football.
By the way. Let's just put it like it is.
Who would have thought in week 15, when we're only featuring like half the games, we would be talking about
Lions and Jets?
Lions and Jets. Good for these teams, you know?
TDs. The Jets better win this game. I looked over everything, and to get into the playoffs, they have to win every game. This should be an easy defensive game for them. Now, I lean. If I was on this one, I didn't pick this one. It was kind of one of those borderline bets of the week that I was potentially going to roll with, but I stayed off it because there were some things that made me nervous about the Jets. You just it's hard to bet on the Jets, and if I had a lean on this one, I would lean on the Jets side. And this was a pick'em, and it went to Jets +1, which I mean it's a bonus if you like the Jets. So I guess I would be on that side. But Scotty, you are on one side in this one. What is it?
Yeah, I mean this is easy, right? Like you have a red hot Detroit team, and like even saying that sentence out loud feels weird. But winners of 5 of 6 against the New York Jets team, losers of 3 and 4 after having a good stretch there. So of course, like the Lions just have to win this game. Not so fast. I'm on the Jets in this one, Chris.
Ooh.
I'm not even sure I know fully why. I think the Jets, yes, they've lost 3 of 4, but the last 2 weeks, close losses at Minnesota and at Buffalo. Okay, so not bad teams there. And it's only been a couple weeks for Mike White here. I just listen. I think the Jets defense. The Lions haven't had to play a lot of cold weather games. It's not supposed to be super cold and bad weather for this one, but Jared Goff just strikes me as a guy that like does not play well in the elements. I think this offense will be bogged down a little bit. I love what the Lions have done and the success they've had these past few weeks. Don't get me wrong, Chairman, and you should be fired up for your team. This is a monumental game for both squads in the playoff picture with the Jets at 7-6, and the Lions are honestly in the thick of things, game under 500 even in the NFC. So monumental game for playoffs, everything on the line. I just think the Jets defense is going to show out a little more, and I think if this was at Detroit, I'd take Detroit in a second. But in the elements where I think Goff might struggle, his arm strength isn't great. I just don't think we'll have the rhythm that they've had recently. I just think the Jets defense shuts them down in a low-scoring game, and Mike White does enough, because it sounds like Mike White, he was a little bit of a question mark. It sounds like Mike White will play for the Jets. Chris, it was announced that Zach Wilson was upgraded to the number 2 quarterback. And I'm like, wait, did I miss Zach Wilson? Number 3? Zach Wilson dropped to number 3 behind Joe Flacco? When did I miss that?
Like, what?
He was number 3? That's a coach trying to teach a lesson, right?
Oh my!
And now he's like, all right, you've been a good boy for 2 weeks. Here's a piece of candy. You can be the number.
Brutal.
You can be the backup. You're in your second year as the number 2 overall pick. You can be the backup. Here's a Twix for you. What do you want? Do you want a Jolly Rancher instead? Are you a Starburst guy, a Skittles, Reese's, whatever you are? Here it is for you.
Rick, I know he's been a healthy scratch.
He was a healthy scratch? I didn't know that. I did not know that. Like that's bad. But regardless, I have a feeling, Chris.
Wow.
Like the public, I imagine, is going to be all over the Lions in this one. I think the public and the bet side is going to be Lions, and I think the Sharps are going to be on the Jets, and I'm going to side with the Sharps in this one, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, I would lean. This was almost one of my picks of the week, and I stayed off it. But I mean, if you were to hold the gun to my head and be like, make a pick in this game, probably be Jets. Probably Jets.
I might do that, Chris.
Do it. Make it happen.
Hold it under your head.
Sky.
That'd be good TV or good streaming, right?
I mean, it makes for an interesting scenario, especially live streamed. I don't think that's against terms TOS, terms of service. I don't think that's an issue, right?
Does anyone know if it's a real gun? Does anyone know if it's loaded? Like,
I mean,
maybe I'll empty the clip and then it'll accidentally be loaded. I think someone like on a stream, I don't know if it was on Twitch or wherever, like did that recently with no one around, but they emptied the clip with a gun and then they shot it and it like still had one in the chamber, Chris. Yeah. I mean, they didn't shoot anybody. They just shot their desk, but it caught them a little off guard.
Come on, man. Come on. What's going on?
People are real dumb, Chris. I don't know if you knew that, but there's a lot of dumb people out there.
Let's see. What else do we have? If both of our Lions can play up to par, then we can win because all White needs is time. Also, Flacco sucks. He should never have been in the second. He should never have been in the second order.
He was putting up numbers those first few weeks when Wilson was hurt, but yeah, no, Flacco's not at the peak of his career.
Zilf is not playing in. Pretty sure if you win every game, you'll make the playoffs. I think that's pretty safe. I think that's it's a safe bet. Jets are about to be kneecapless, says Chairman. Could also be a squirt gun. Saturday night. Let's go. By the way, we didn't mention this. Saturday games start this week, which is insane.
No bowl games or no college football, so now we get Saturday football.
There you go. It's happening. We got football. Now, this is that week that my wife loves the best. You have football Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
and World Cup final.
And World Cup final. Sunday. It's just we're
dream for each and every wife out there that hates their husbands liking sports, or vice versa. Maybe husbands hate their wives that like sports.
It's true. I mean,
that's out there.
Yeah, we got to be.
That's out there. Speaking of the Bills, did you see that stupid Bills reporter or whoever he is that just made an idiotic comment about females in sports this week?
I did not catch that. What was that?
I don't know. He said something about they're just cheerleaders and they're not able to and so needless to say, I think he's been put on suspension by, I think he worked for a network, but this was not on the network, I believe. Anyway, obviously you guys know every female in this chat. We value you guys and
we got
you guys obviously are incredible, but yeah, really, really idiotic thing to say, and not even remotely true. Quite frankly, I think men are more in that fashion of dramatic and up in their feelings about sports than in cheerleaders. They get so men are the worst. Quite frankly, I'm not gonna lie, and I get that way, so it's my fault too.
Look at this dude. Yeah, and guys, we've said it. We have an amazing female community in this chat. Our ladies represent and talk sports so strong in our chat.
Yeah. If we were doing and maybe we'll do this one day, Chris, a draft on our favorite, people that are in our chat. It would be female dominated. No offense, males, but it would be absolutely female dominated. The men are just
at the bottom. If we did
they're dominating our pick'em league and our fantasy leagues, Chris.
Literally,
I mean, they rule the world.
Y'all ladies represent. We appreciate each and every single one of you.
Roger.
Guys, Dolphins, Bills coming in here, and Scotty would pick me first overall. No, Rec.
Chris might take you 5th round, knowing I'm not taking you at all, Rec. So he's I'll take Rec 5th round because I know I don't need to pick him before that. even if I wanted to.
Broncos is just putting that RELAX.
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 I like
Yeah.
everybody. It's fine. I'm just saying maybe it would be female. No, I'm just kidding.
It's going to be the Rams' coldest game ever Monday. Hello, Rams. Yeah, we'll get to that one, I think, here in a little bit. Dolphins, Bills, though. Bills favored by 7.5 in this one over the Dolphins. Dolphins on that letdown game. Honestly, like, is it weird that I'm kind of selling stock on the Dolphins at this point in the season? They're not going the right direction. And I just feel, I mean, you got Tyreek Hill banged up. He was limping around the field at the end of that game on Sunday Night Football. I mean, that's a big aspect of what you got going. They just haven't looked as crisp as they typically have early on in the season. They're not trending the right direction. The stock is falling. I know the Bills haven't exactly played the best, but at the same time, you're at Buffalo here. You have a team that, you lost Von Miller. You have some issues there. But overall, I think this team is more well-rounded as opposed to maybe the Dolphins at a certain point here in the season. So I think the bigger story is here is selling the Dolphins. The Dolphins could miss the playoffs, Scotty. I know you picked them early on in the season to make the playoffs, and that was looking great for a little bit, but there's a slight chance the Dolphins might not make it in.
Yeah, I still think they make it in, but you're right. Like, listen, the Dolphins go as their offense goes. Their defense has not lived up to what I thought they might be. But the offense was having some incredible weeks, and the last 2 weeks, quite frankly, Tua has looked awful. I mean, he was 3 for 17, and like literally every team's gonna look at that as a blueprint. What did the Chargers do last week to limit the Miami offense and to make Tua look completely inept? Like, Tua went 2 weeks ago, Tua was a top 3 MVP candidate, and now like the dude can't complete a pass. So
It's weird.
yeah, no, there's some selling, and listen, there's also selling in the sense like this is Saturday night, and it sounds like there could be some decent snow in the forecast, Chris. Like to like heavy. Like, it could be heavy right around kickoff. I love Mike McDaniel. He's done a phenomenal job as coach. I think he's a super fun guy. But he's basically saying like, oh, it's only a big deal. Weather is if you make it a big deal. And I'm like, no, I think you should probably prepare for that. Like, if there's 30-mile-per-hour winds, you have a quarterback that doesn't have he has one of the worst arms in the league. Tua can be accurate as hell, but his arm strength is not great. And you're going to be playing in windy, snowy conditions. Like, no, I would probably prep for that a little bit. I did take the Bills in a teaser this week. So I have the Bills down 6 points to 1.5 in a teaser to go along with Fear Not Milwaukee. I paired them, I believe, with the Green Bay Packers on Monday Night Football.
I love Green Bay, by the way. I almost made that one of my best bets.
Listen, the Rams are obviously a mess. Yes, they got a wild, I don't even know how they beat the Raiders on Thursday night last week.
Baker's not going to have a second game like that.
Baker's a fun story for 1 week, but like, I know Green Bay's not a great team by any means this year, but I am teasing. One of my bets of the week is a teaser. Bills down to 1.5 and Green Bay down to -1. Basically, we just need the Bills and Green Bay to win outright.
Barry, all right, fellas, great stream. Catch y'all next time. Go give Barry
Appreciate
a follow.
You, Barry.
Barry doesn't always pop in here on our channel, so go give Barry a follow. He's absolutely incredible. He's entertaining. He's gonna hit you with all of the pop culture, all the sports, all the everything, and he brings it in your normal afternoon slate of the day. So go give him some love.
And we held off on what WAP stood for. Barry will not do so, guys.
No, Barry will let you know.
Barry will say anything and everything. So he'll let you know exactly what WAP stands for, and he'll probably dive into the lyrics if you ask him.
Yeah, he'll sing the lyrics and just quote us on here.
And last I heard, tomorrow he's playing some Cole Beasley rap. So
he's playing some Cole Beasley rap, and he's also singing WAP tomorrow on stream. Yeah. Don't miss it. Go catch Barry on deck.
Out. It's Barry, Chris. It's not Gary.
Barry's like, damn, I got some expectations to live up to. I can't wait. I want to join that stream tomorrow. I can't wait for it, Barry. I can't wait to see that. And it better be on the VODs, too. You better post that to YouTube and everything. I can't wait for that. Also coming in here, hot take, Tua never got hurt. The Dolphins offense would be...
Barry's off tomorrow. Okay, guys, Friday.
Friday.
Oh, wait, what day is tomorrow?
Whenever Barry streams next.
Friday.
See you, Barry. What else? I was saying, hot take, if Tua TD says never got hurt, the Dolphins offense would be the best in the league. I don't know. And then you also
they're up there still, but they've just struggled the last couple weeks.
And Chairman,
even with Tua,
Chairman has a nice take. The Dolphins will get in. They're the third best team in the AFC behind Buffalo and Cincinnati. He's baiting
Chairman's
you.
Good. He's good.
Chairman is good.
He is good.
He's doing what he can to hit the over.
That's a take. That's a take.
My Bills will crush some tuna this week. Period, says Parker. Maybe you should just get a Bills tattoo. Maybe you just get a Bills tattoo at this point. Yeah. Oh man, this is a lot of fun. Ain't gonna be fun either city Monday when the temp is 4 degrees. Have fun, LA. LA's not gonna be ready for that cold. Come on now. Come on, Pack. Let's go. Exclamation point wreck ban wreck. What did I do this time? Yeah.
I didn't even lead the charge on this one.
That's casually leading the charge on that one. Cover up the Cowboys tattoo with his Bills tattoo. True.
I don't know how you're gonna have to find a really good expensive tattoo artist to change a star into a buffalo.
Yeah, you'll have to figure that out for sure. I mean, they have those tattoo artists. Also, that
you're a traitor.
Yeah,
you're a traitor.
Jets are better than the Dolphins. I have no idea what Chairman is talking about. I thought there was a secret menu that I could mess around with. Just casually, there's a secret menu. It's band rec, and it's just not a part of like the full menu yet, but it'll be a part of the main menu soon. Giants at Commanders here. Commanders minus 4.5. You know what's weird is like I haven't really looked at this game too much as far as
I had this as one of my picks of the week. It was twofold, Chris, to be honest. I thought maybe G-Girl was mad at me, so I want to pick the Giants. And also, I know the Giants have obviously struggled the last few weeks after a hot start, and the Commanders are coming on, but these two teams tied 2 weeks ago. Why is it at 4.5? 4.5 seems high because you know what 4.5 really means? It means at least 6 or 7. That the Commanders have to win by. And I just don't know if I see that. So I was all ready. I was so set. I was like, Giants plus 4.5. Let's go. And then I listened to like this one podcast I listened to, and one of my favorite dudes was on the other side, and I was like, all right, I'll leave it alone. But my lean still is I still think the Giants keep this game close. I mean, the over-under is low at 40.5. This feels like a 20-17, 23-20 kind of game. What did they tie at, Chris? Was it 2020? I think it was 2020 when they tied a couple weeks ago. So it feels like if you pick a side here, it has to be Giants. But this other guy that I respect a lot picked Commanders, which scared me away from this one, Chris.
I mean, if I was leaning on one way, I would pick the Giants. I didn't pick this as my bet of the week, but Giants plus 4.5 against the Commanders, knowing it's going to be another close one, it just makes sense.
And this was flexed to Sunday night, Chris.
Which
this is Sunday night football.
Sunday night football.
We got Thursday. We got 3 Saturday games. We got Sunday night and Monday night.
Unfortunately, we won't be live Sunday night this week because we are prepping for our Wednesday 2-year anniversary show. Our special with everything we have planned for that. So, guys, this is going to be an interesting one on Sunday night, but I think it'll be a closer game than people think, which is why I lean Giants. I didn't make it as a bet of the week, but yeah, you're right. 40.5. I think these two have played close games. It's a division rivalry, so I think that they're going to be, really just trying to figure it out. Chairman mentioned too, As a Lions fan, who do I pull for in this game, given they are both ahead of Detroit in the wild card standing? They both have teams. They both have something to play for here for the wild card. So I just expect just a hard-fought, grindy kind of game, and you always lean towards. I mean, if you're getting 4.5 in this one, take it. Hey, thank you for that follow. Play like the movies. Let's go.
Thank you so much. And Chris got the name right off the bat.
Hey, Play. Who's your team and where you're from? Like to get to know each and every one of our Action Lab rats. So let us know where you're from, so we can get to know you.
Football wife. Who's playing Saturday? So it starts at 1 p.m. Eastern time. 1 p.m. Eastern with Colts at Vikings. And then 4:30, Ravens at Browns, which you might be interested in Football Wife as a Bengals fan. And then the nightcap at 8:15 Eastern, Dolphins and Bills.
Look out, Football Wife. Play like the movies, like some Bengals. Hooday. And also from the UK. Let's get it. Welcome into the Action Lab Play. Appreciate you being here. Good to have you in. Football Wife is our one of our resident Bengal fans, so she'll take good care of you. She'll make you a warm cup of tea. She'll welcome you in. There you go. Who did?
You own a certain team in the NFL, so enjoy that.
Yeah, there you go. 49ers Seahawks. 49ers favored in this one by 3 on the road in Seattle. 43.5 is the over under. Scotty, this is one of our combined shared bets of the week, and this is coming up on Thursday night. Is it Thursday night? I think it's Thursday night.
It is, yep, tomorrow.
Thursday night. So tomorrow night, this will be on the showcase for all those folks that are streaming, like G Girl and all the other streamers that stream Thursday Night Football. But 49ers and Seahawks, this one's interesting. Obviously, the 49ers had a nice little win. Brock Purdy coming in, doing some good things. And, still, like, it's like the 49ers lose their top 2 quarterbacks and don't skip a beat. And I still think, Scotty, that the NFC Championship is their ceiling based off of just how good this roster is. As long as they can avoid injuries and anything crazy happening, I think that they have a good shot to make it still a deep run in the playoffs based off of their coaching staff. And it doesn't matter who they have at quarterback at this point. They're just continuing to just...
It could be a 4th string, Chris, because Brock Purdy is questionable with an oblique rib injury for tomorrow night. Well, so Brock may not even play.
Who is
good old Josh Johnson, who I believe was in Denver's camp this offseason, right?
Who's been on literally every single team on the planet.
Quite a few.
Might be Josh Johnson's time. We still kind of waiting word on what's happening there with Purdy versus Johnson. But either way, 49ers in a rough spot. But if there's something that we both like in this one, Scotty, what is it?
It's the under.
It's the under. Scotty, this one just screams under. So, one, you have this 49ers defense that's the best in the league. I think this slows down this Seahawks offense. On the other side, you have a Seahawks offense, at home, or which is fine, or defense at home, which is fine, against whoever you think is going to be playing quarterback for the 49ers. I think it's a short week. I think you have an issue with who you're starting at quarterback. That being said, this under looks really, really good. It's a Thursday night football game. We know what happens on Thursday night football games. Not a lot. So there's a lot of things that play into this one. But overall, the under 43.5, even though it's a low number, I think this hits. I think that Seattle struggles against this good 49ers defense. I think the 49ers offense can struggle on the road in Seattle in that environment with a 3rd or 4th stream quarterback, depending on what you're working with. It just makes sense that this just is going to be a low-scoring, grinding game. I think the first team to 20 wins, and I don't think the other team scores a ton.
Yeah, I just think, we don't know. Even if it's Purdy, I still like the under. Even if Brock's able to play, he's going to be not fully healthy. And 2, I still question, he's played nice coming in relief 2 weeks ago and last week, but This is a short week. The game plan for both teams might be a little more vanilla. These two teams hate each other and typically play very, very close football games. It didn't happen in their first matchup this year where the Niners killed them like 27-7. So that was the worst offensive output for the Seahawks all season at 7 points. But these teams know each other. So listen, I love taking unders in late season division matchups because division teams late in the season, they know the other teams, they like know their tendencies, they're familiar with them. So they're going to play, it's going to be a lower scoring game. And this one on a short week, Seahawks offense has kind of been fading a little bit from how they started this season. I think the 49ers defense can shut them down, and the 49ers are going to run the football a lot and rely on that and probably a short passing game that's going to move the clock a lot. So, yeah, and no Debo. So you don't have the best weapon. I would still say Debo's their most important weapon, even over Christian McCaffrey in San Fran. You can argue that if you want, but regardless, you might be on your 4th-string quarterback and you're without Debo Samuel. Like, it just feels like the under here is going to hit. Like, I don't see either team, like, at most, it's a 23-20. It really feels that way at the most, but I don't even think it gets that high.
Yeah, I think it's pretty low scoring here, at least for these two teams in this situation late in the season. So,
which means it's probably not going to be an attractive game to watch tomorrow, but it should be a tight game and an important one for especially the Seahawks. I think the Niners probably end up taking that division, even if they lose this one. But Seahawks all of a sudden looked great and now reeling a little bit. Losers of 3 of 4. So to stay in the mix in the NFC playoff hunt, they could really, really use this game before they have a very difficult game the following week, Chris.
Yeah. Who are they playing?
I forget.
Oh, okay. We won't worry about that till next week then. Titans at Chargers here. Chargers are kind of just trying to do whatever they can to make themselves in a good position to make the playoffs here. Obviously, they're still in the mix, 7-6, but haven't looked good. They've kind of struggled here and there over the course of this season. They don't look like a team that's going to make any waves if they were to make the playoffs, but here they are hosting a Titans team that has kind of just, let's just say, not looked very good. Scotty, any thoughts on this one? Chargers right now favored by 3 in LA. 47.5 is the over-under here. This now, keep in mind, the Chargers defense is, especially against the run, not very good. Then you got Derrick Henry rolling into town and being able to put his dominance in this game. This one scares me enough to where I'm like, this could be a huge day for Derrick Henry. By the way, this is the first time I didn't call him Travis Henry, so there's that.
That's, hey, congrats.
I make
one's a far superior player.
Yeah, I've been saying.
Thank you, Jamie, for the follow and the
Jamie.
Shaq shimmy.
Who's your team and where you're from? Like to get to know you a little bit. Also, Riley writes, welcome in. Chargers are doing their best, and that's all anyone can ask of them. The Titans are still the Titans. Hey, Riley, are you a Chargers fan? Like to get to know you a little bit better. I think you are. Maybe not. I don't know. Let us know. But yeah, this one's interesting. Scotty, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, at first glance, you look at the Chargers. They look good, obviously, on Sunday night against Miami last week. And the Titans, the last 2 weeks, have looked absolutely. I know what you're laughing at. Chairman likes the Chargers because they're the best team in the AFC West. Great call, Chairman. Great call. I'm not on this game as a best bet, but I would actually lean Titans, Chris.
We gotta watch Remember the Titans, since these Titans are so forgettable.
Oh, true. Yeah.
And I don't disagree that they are forgettable. Jamie coming in, favorite team, Philadelphia Eagles.
There you go.
Right. They're doing all right.
They're doing
doing okay.
Scotty's 12-1 good?
It's not bad, but it's not 13-0, Chris. What happened against that Commanders team on that
Commanders
was
game?
That Monday night?
It was. I don't know what happened. But hey,
12-1's pretty good.
Hey, we got a couple Eagles fans in the chat. So Jamie, you're gonna be right at home Welcome in.
Yeah, but going back to this Titans-Chargers game, it feels like teams that are kind of trending in different directions. The world, everyone saw the Chargers dominate what they perceive as a good Miami team last week. The Titans have been blown out back-to-back weeks against those Eagles, and then last week against the Jaguars, and you think, all right, Titans are done. But this just feels like a game where like the Titans are going to be able to run on the Chargers, right? Like the Chargers run defense, as you mentioned, is an abomination. It's not good. It's a problem. And it just always feels like just when you think like the Chargers have figured it out, they charge.
They charge.
And the Titans all of a sudden look to be in control in the pathetic AFC South, but like now that they've lost the last two, they're sitting there at 7-6. Yeah, I mean, second place is Jacksonville at 5-8, but still, if they lose this one, if Jacksonville's able to upset the Cowboys this weekend, you're all of a sudden within a game and anything's possible. And like, we're only getting one team out of the South. It's not like with those records, like we're not getting a wild card team. They're lucky to get one. Titans need this one. Not that the Chargers do too. Obviously, sitting at 7-6, they need that because they're fighting for a wild card spot with the Jets at 7-6, the Patriots at 7-6, the Dolphins just ahead of them at 8-5. So I think right now of those three teams, only one would make it of those 7-6 teams. So they're fighting for a spot. So let's keep in mind the Chargers, for everything they are, is they're minus 31 in point differential this year, Chris.
That's crazy.
Not exactly great.
I didn't think they were that low in my point differential. That's crazy.
Like the Patriots are plus 37. So go figure that.
That's wild. Riley, by the way, is Moon. I guess you changed your screen name. Hey,
wait. What?
Riley Wright is Moon Princess. She's testing out a new.
It's the former Moon Princess. Okay,
there you go.
Riley Wrights.
Hey Riley,
welcome in Riley, the new viewer, and hopefully you kept that other one so we get both followers.
Let's go ahead, guys. That's gonna wrap up our top. By the way, Eagles. Jamie wants to talk. Let's talk about that Eagles real quick. That Bears matchup.
I'm gonna do another code yellow real quick, Chris.
Spam code yellow in the chat for Scotty, and I'm gonna bring up some so we could talk a little bit of Eagles for you, because obviously Eagles looking real good right now. I mean, realistically, Scotty's a big Kansas City fan, so he's talking about Mahomes. I'm bringing up Mahomes. He's been trying not to because he does it too often. But Philadelphia against Chicago, obviously, Chicago has had its issues, especially quarterback position, with health, pieces that come into play there. But that being said, I think the Eagles overall are just a better team. Eagles look like the best team in the NFC, and it's not even really close. I mean, I think that you can still put San Francisco, as weird as it sounds, San Francisco is still kind of in the mix with even whoever they start at quarterback, because it seems like they're having productivity spikes with anybody that they throw in there. Like, it's not crazy good, but they're game managers. Kyle Shanahan can have game managers. So you got Philadelphia, you got the San Francisco 49ers, you have the Dallas Cowboys, then you also have, if I'm like looking at the mix in the NFC, I would say, Minnesota's 10-3, but I don't believe in Minnesota. There's not much, right? There's not much else. So I think that's it's weird as far as like the NFC goes, because we thought they were going to be a little weaker anyway. But hey, I like the Eagles this week. I like the Eagles to take care of the Bears. Justin Fields will potentially. I don't know. Justin Fields coming back. I don't think he's been.
No, he's sick.
Is he?
We have a large group of Rudolph Simps in the Steelers
should be able to play by
call
Sunday.
Themselves the Freemasons.
Wreck, yeah. Super Cooper. We don't have an emote for nothing, right?
Hate Super Cooper. And Chris, I heard your bold take that you like Philly over Chicago, which is just so bold.
It's bold.
It doesn't get any more bold than taking a 12-1 team over a 3-10 team, Chris. It's a bold take. I almost put the Philly in a teaser. And quite frankly, Chris, last week, the teaser I lost that prevented me to go 4-0, I ended up betting because I was neck and neck on that teaser between Philly and Arizona. In my actual bet I placed, I put it on Philadelphia. So in my bets, I went 4-0 last week in my actual bets. But on this, I went 3-1 because of stupid Arizona.
Arizona sucks, man. Oh my goodness. They couldn't. I mean, obviously they had the injury with Kyler, but let's dive into our best bets here. And here's where we're at. And I think, we're all cut up with the records here. I went bold, Scotty. I went bold.
You went all totals.
I went all totals this week. I was just like, there was too many. Chop, what do we got going here?
Is he having a stroke? Is he okay?
I don't know what's going.
Is this like he's falling on his phone and it's in his pocket and it's chatting or something? Is this like something that happened on that bachelor party trip, Chris?
Yeah, 100%. Don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
it's a trap. Scotty had what was that? 3-1 week last week.
3-1.
And actually, did I give you? I think I counted you for a 4-0 week as opposed to a 3-1.
Oh,
week. So I think you're 34-22 actually. So I
no, don't do that. I like 35-21 better.
I think I didn't give you the one, and then I gave you the other, and I just swapped. Anyways, you're 34-22. I'm 33-22-1. We're literally dead even here, Scotty, in our bets. But
careful with the word literally, but yes, basically.
Well, maybe,
essentially.
Take out the word literally.
Yeah.
Beep boop. At least not a cat going to the keyboard. But yeah, all right. So here we go.
Maybe one day I'll tell the story of good old Chop. At your bachelor party, Chris.
Oh my goodness.
It's a splendid story. One of the best stories you'll ever hear. I'm sure he'd love to hear it on stream.
I'm sure he would love for everyone on our chat to hear it on stream as well.
Milwaukee. No one took the Packers. Milwaukee, read a little closer.
Read a little closer. The Green Bay Packers are on Scotty's side.
A little tease.
Scotty, go ahead.
Tease with the pack.
Cover yours. You've already covered the Jets, the Jags.
I've covered all 4 or 5 of whatever of these games. All these games we covered. So I covered Jags at 4. I actually got them at 4.5. I think in our preview it was at 4. Jets on our preview was even, but I got them at +1. Teaser down. Buffalo and Green Bay basically just need to win. And Seattle, San Fran, we talked about that under. So all mine were talked about. Yours, on the other hand,
no. We still need to get into mine. No one took the GOAT, Mason Rudolph. I do like Rec. I do like teasing up the Steelers +8.5 in that matchup.
I almost tease the Steelers against Carolina.
I love the Steelers +8.5 against Carolina, Rec. So I'm on your boys for that one. So
you're on his boys to lose to Carolina by less than 8.5.
True.
That's what you're on. I mean, that's not necessarily being on his boys. That's like, hey, no one should lose to Carolina by 8.5 or more. I don't even know a team that's done that outside of maybe your Broncos, Chris.
Come on, man. Yeah, that's fair. All right, a couple more that I have on my side. Before we get to coming in hot, guys, coming in hot is coming down the pipeline quick. So don't go anywhere. Scotty has some things to say about a Christmas tradition that you might want to just stick around for, because he has some thoughts on something that just is a little frustrating when it comes to this particular thing. But we'll get to that here in a minute. I got one of my picks of the week is the under in the Atlanta New Orleans matchup. Now, all right, Falcons are turning to Desmond Ridder. You know, we don't know exactly what to expect from him, but you know, I feel like both these teams is a division matchup, and you know, I just think that New Orleans has the lowest interception rate of the league. They haven't been able to create turnovers. So it's a great situation for Desmond Ridder to come in against a team that doesn't create turnovers to be able to potentially get some points on the board. I think that that's a doable thing. The Saints offense has been pretty ugly recently, but also faced the Ravens, Steelers, Rams, Niners, Bucks in the last 5. They should have more success here against the worst defense. Both teams have been reliable. unders recently. So I think that with the tougher lately defensive matchups, I think, it kind of helps to bring this number lower, which I think is kind of baked in. I think that this is potentially something that could go higher than 43. I got it at 42 and a half, I believe here. So 42 and a half on the graphic, which is what I locked in. So I like the over in the Atlanta New Orleans matchup, and also Indianapolis and Minnesota matchup is also on my radar. I think this one is going to be a little bit more of a higher scoring matchup. I could see this getting into, potentially like the 50s in this matchup. I think this is a good one for Minnesota to, get some points on the board. They're 10-3. They have a decent offense. They're at home against the Colts team. I think they could put up a good number of points, but Minnesota's defense isn't exactly the greatest either. So from that standpoint, I think the Indianapolis Colts can put up some points. I think there's going to be, enough there to get to this total. I got the over in the Minnesota and Indianapolis. So there you go. I went all totals.
All totals.
See how they do. And if I go 4-0 this week, Scotty, I'm doing totals the rest of the season. Can I do that? I'm going to do that.
I mean, you definitely can, but what if you go 4-0 this week and then next week you go 0-4? Are you going to stick with it? You going to roll with it?
No, absolutely not. Okay. If we don't win, no Cup, Stafford, Donald, and Baker Mayfield starting, and it's 4 degrees. Heads gotta roll, says Milwaukee's.
I think heads probably, obviously not a great season in Green Bay this year, and I don't know where it'll be interesting because there was the rumor coming out about Jordan Love's going to request a trade if Aaron Rodgers is back next year, which isn't a huge surprise, right? Like, it's just a first-round pick just chilling there, sitting on the bench. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Green Bay. But we got 4 weeks left of the regular season, Chris. 4 weeks left of the regular season, and then we got playoff football.